Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Saf Dhillon, President and CEO and one of the founding directors of Questcorp Mining. Questcorp is less than a 3-year-old IPO company, excuse me, based out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Our focus actually is on copper and gold. We have 2 assets right now in the company. Our ticker in Canada is QQQ. We trade on the OTC as well as the Frankfurt. Excuse me. So as I mentioned, the company just came to list less than 3 years ago, December 2023. A project that the company came public with is a small copper property on Vancouver Island. I'm based in Vancouver, British Columbia. And this property actually is in a former hub of activity in the mining world. And now it looks like it's starting to reheat up again. This map here kind of shows you this is the northern tip of Vancouver Island. We are the kind of red rust-colored claim block. We sit basically in between North Island Copper, which is that big claim block that you see kind of in the teal. That company has grown their market cap from under 10 million to well over 300 million within the last few years, all through the drill bit. They've made a number of polymetallic discoveries, and to the right of us, you also see in the kind of neon green is a former mine, actually one of the largest copper mines in Canada that was owned by BHP, one of the largest mining companies in the world. The company has roughly 70 million shares issued and outstanding. And if you look at this pie chart, it gives you kind of a good indication of the cross-section of investors. There's actually 2 investors, that primarily one that own about 60 million or 60% of the issued and outstanding shares. These are US-based investors or broker-dealers. And then we have Riverside, who's our operator on our new project in Mexico I'll be talking about. They own roughly 10%. And the management directors and insiders own another 10%. So there's really only about 20 million shares, or 20% roughly, 15 to 16 million shares that are in the float. This kind of gives you a little indication, I think, of how our stock has performed over the last year and a half. We financed the company, that 45 million units at roughly 6 cents Canadian. That came with a 10-cent full 2-year warrant. You can see at the bottom of the chart, we announced our project in September, did the financing in March, and currently the stock's been trading, fluctuating basically between 15 to about 20 cents Canadian. Trades probably about 250 to 300,000 shares a day, so it's fairly liquid for a junior company. And March of this year, we also announced in connection with the financing that we were signing an LOI, making signing an earn-in agreement with a company called Riverside Resources. Riverside is another Vancouver-based company. They've been around since about 2007. They've been known as a project or prospect generator. They've had a number of successful spin-outs or discoveries. Capitan Silver would be one of the most well-known. That started off as a $2 million public company, and now I think it's trading at about a $200 million market cap. The deal that we structured with Riverside, I think, is a win-win for both sides. Riverside probably has about a $20 million market cap, probably $5 million in cash. And the deal that we struck with them is we have 4 years to earn in on this project, to earn in 100%. We have to pay them $100,000 or $25,000 per year. We have to spend not less than 5.5 million Canadian on the project in Mexico. And of course, we have to issue them shares in Questcorp. At the time that we would own it 100%, Riverside would then be a 19.98% shareholder of Riverside, thus giving both sides an upside potential on any discoveries that are made. This project is very exciting. They've worked on it for the last last 7.5 years. Collectively, there's been about $2.5 million US spent on the property, and it actually was a past producer. So a portion of this property has still old adits on it. And there was 50,000 ounces of gold, ranging from a low of 7 grams per ton to as high as 20 grams per ton that has been produced from this property. Riverside, as I said again, has been around since 2007. They've been in Mexico for 20 years, pretty well their whole existence. And the president CEO of the company, John Mark Stouty, has actually got a doctorate in geology. He's actually worked in Mexico for roughly about 30 years. And he's fluent in Spanish, so it really kind of gives us, I guess, a leg up. Instead of having to put together or structure a team, this project comes with a ready-made team. Again, real quickly, you can just kind of see that where the project is situated, it's just south of the border with Arizona. It's in the Sonora Gold Belt, one of the most prolific regions of Mexico. And currently, right now, we have a drill program underway. We were planning to do anywhere from 4 to 6 holes, maybe 1,500, 2,000 meters. But the drilling's been progressing very nicely that we've decided to keep the drill bit churning. And currently we're actually sitting on hole number 9. There were four or five targets that we potentially were hoping to get at least 1 hole in each of these targets. But it looks like some of these targets we've actually been able to successfully get 2 holes. And here's just a couple of more slides on the geology, some of the 3 targets. And the Union Mine, that's where the actual production initially was coming from. And then real quickly, just a little bit about myself again. I got started in the industry back in 2004. I helped grow a geothermal company from really just some abandoned wells. And over a 10-year period, we ended up growing that company from about a $2 million market cap to its peak of about 400 or 500 million US. Ended up becoming an independent power producer, constructed 3 geothermal power plants, all in the Pacific Northwest of the US, Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada. Paul Larkin is a recently appointed advisor. He's been a very successful entrepreneur. Started off as a banker, worked as a broker as well, and then he basically started his own merchant banking firm, and he's been involved in a number of very successful companies, as well as being one of the founders of U.S. Geothermal. The board is then rounded out with Tim Henneberry, who's worked in the industry for about 43 years. He's worked all over the world, several African countries, a number of South American countries, and now basically through U.S. and Canada as well. Scott Davis is a very successful accountant. Him and his partner run a very successful firm in Vancouver, and he's CFO of the company and has been with us since the beginning as well. And with that, that's it. If anybody has any questions, or you can come see me at booth 9. Thank you.